Hello there. Hi again. Yes, it's the same day, and I was so inspired by that video that I wanted to go ahead and just knock this video out for y'all. So let's get into it. We are going to talk about some helpful tips on traveling alone, how to stay safe, how to have fun, how to get the most bang for your buck. Number one, booking. So whenever you book a trip, and I am looking at my notes down here, so excuse me, that's where my eyes keep going. When you book a trip, you want to book your flight and stuff at least a month or so. 2 months really are like is best for flights in my experience. I don't care to book it like 3 months out. I mean, it depends on where you're going. If you're going overseas, 9 times out of 10, you want to get your flights as soon as you decide to book your trip, because if the closer it gets, those prices, they shoot way up. I always like to book my housing first because you never really know. Like, there's always going to be a flight that's going to get you there. It may be a little more expensive, but there's not always going to be a place for you to lay your head. And then next thing is lodging. So hostels, Airbnbs, hotels. This is how I prioritize when I travel. You get a bang for your buck, honestly. If you see my hostel video, if you haven't, go ahead and go watch that one after this, or you can stop and go watch it now. But hostels, okay? That's my number one. My number two is going to be Airbnb. And I go for those two first because you can kind of get way lower price range versus when you get into a hotel, there's a lot less flexibility with the price. So you can move some things around with the first two options. But then the last thing I will look at, if there's no hostel or no Airbnb available that I want to stay in, I'll just book a hotel and go with that. So also, if you have a friend who lives in the state that you're going to lodge at their house, because it's free as it gets, and the least you can do with that is bring like a housewarming gift. Bring them something. I don't like to show up anywhere empty-handed, or at least take them out for drinks, take them out for food, or pay for something. You know what I mean? Don't just come and freeload. Moving on, safety. As a solo traveler, safety is always priority for me, and I do not take that lightly. If I ever feel like I'm in a dangerous situation, I remove myself immediately, okay? And so for protection, you want to have something for protection. So me personally, I keep this. My dad originally gave me a knife, but I lost it, or actually left it in a friend's car, came up missing. So this is what I use, my handy dandy knife, okay? She plays no games. She's sharp. I've never had to use it, but I keep it on me. Just know, I keep it on me, okay? Other things you can do are like mace. Traveling with a gun is expensive, but if that's your thing, you can take that. Always have something to defend yourself. I don't care if it's a pair of scissors. If that's all you have, that's all you have. Don't be out here naked, okay? Don't be out here like that. Next thing for safety, let somebody know where you're going. Let them know where you're going to be staying at when you're flying out and when you're expected to be back home. Whether that's a parent, a friend, somebody who cares about you enough to check in with you and check in with people throughout your trip, especially if you're alone, to let them know, hey, I'm okay, I'm having a great time. Just in case anything happens to you, they will know where to start. So then, next thing, keep your head on a swivel. Everywhere you go, don't get too intoxicated. Don't leave your drink with anybody. Even if you meet somebody at a hostel or you meet somebody at the club and they seem like cool people, you never really know until it's too late. Please don't leave your drinks with anybody. If you have to go to the bathroom and you haven't finished your drink, either hold it and finish your drink, or maybe a bartender can watch it, but I wouldn't even do that. I would say either drink the drink and go to the restroom, or just hold it. Get used to just watching everything, but also having a good time. Like, don't be paranoid, but don't be stupid. You know what I mean? And if you are a smoker or whatever your vice is, if you do any kind of drugs, don't just take drugs from anybody. Please, just don't do that. Getting intoxicated, don't go overboard. Just don't do it. And then the last thing, do not tell strangers where you're staying. I don't care how cute she is. I don't care how big her booty is. I don't care how fine he is or how much money you think he has, sis. Do not do it. Have you seen Taken? That's the first thing I think when somebody's like, oh, where are you staying? Oh, around the way. That's exactly what I tell them every single time. Where are you staying at? Around the way. Another thing for safety that I always take with me, I always take my portable charger. Make sure that you take at least one. I like to have two because I like to have a backup. Always take a portable charger, charge it up before you even get on your flight. Make sure that it's locked and loaded, fully charged and ready to go. For packing, I have a couple of packing hacks for y'all. So the first thing you want to do whenever you're planning a trip, I go on Google and I type in, let's say Miami. I'll type in Miami weather for April 2021, whenever I'm going. And then you can honestly do this before you even book your trip to kind of see what the weather's like, even though you know it's not always reliable, but it's something you can do and it helps me plan my outfits. So do that. Next thing, when you're packing. So whenever I'm packing, I learned this from an ex-boyfriend, shout out to you. And he'll know, if you see this video, thank you, because you'll know who you are. But take your clothes and roll them downward. So I'm gonna stand up real quick. This will save you so much space inside of your luggage. It's not even funny. And as a girl who loves to pack a backup outfit, this works wonderfully for me, but I still ended up with 2 luggages and a carry-on every time. But we're not gonna worry about that. Roll your stuff, put it in there, boom. Whenever you are packing your shoes, either take them and toss them into a trash bag or lie a trash bag on top of, once you pack in everything that's going in, put a trash bag over the top of it and put your shoes in there. And then you can even lay another trash bag on top if you are that serious about it. But it's just to keep your clothes clean. Take disinfectant. Ziploc bags are my best friend when I travel. All sizes. I don't have any of the large ones. So one thing I do, I use them for jewelry, just like this. If you have a bunch of little earrings or dainty little things you like to accessorize with, put them in a Ziploc bag, keep them safe. Don't lose anything. Also, travel size things, all your goodies. Make sure that you get them. I always secure mine in some kind of bag, some kind of plastic, because I've had it to where the cabin pressure makes your stuff pop, and then you'll have a mess if your stuff is not contained. If it's contained in a Ziploc bag and it opens, you can just open it up and wipe everything off. It's no big deal, but that's a different story if it's all over your underwear. You know what I'm saying? Not fun. Always take your sanitizer. We don't play with germs. Germs don't play with us, okay? We're not friends with germs. When I'm packing, I always take my own towels because I'm just not comfortable using hotel towels usually, or using hostel towels. I always take my own pillowcase too, because I don't know, if y'all know me, y'all know that I've struggled with like my skin journey. So it's very important for me to not just be sleeping on any old thing. I like to sleep on satin or silk pillowcases, and I need them to be freshly cleaned. Here's a packing hack. Always make sure that you pack the thing that you usually forget first. I haven't made a packing list personally, but if you really are someone who struggles with packing and you're like, damn it, I forgot this again, make a list of all the things that you will ever need. Keep it in your phone. I'll put everything in my notepad section, so it's always there. Always keep your ID on you. You never know what's gonna happen. Always keep some cash, even if it's just a $20 bill or a $5 bill. Like, you always should carry cash when you're traveling. When I'm home, honestly, I'm terrible about it, but my mom always taught me you need to have cash. So to keep that, I keep my passport. I don't keep my passport on me, but I do keep it locked up in my room. If you're in a hostel, make sure that you put a lock on your stuff if your passport is in there, because that's a lot of personal information, and this is something you do not want to lose, especially if you're outside of the country. Carry on. This is my personal item. I am the girl who likes to be prepared with Band-Aids, back scratchers, juice boxes. No. I put any and everything. I'm exaggerating, but I do like keep Band-Aids and all that kind of random stuff. Ladies, keep your items just in case Mother Nature likes to surprise you. Keep something on you. I like to carry little backpacks like this when I'm traveling because it doesn't always go with your outfit. Sometimes you need a clutch. But if I'm just out roaming in the daytime, I have no shame in just carrying those small backpacks that can hold everything I needed to hold. Always protection. Back to protection. I keep my black obsidian on me. Last tip for packing. Whenever you're packing and you know that you're planning to either shop there or you're going to get souvenirs for yourself or other people, leave room in your luggage for those items so that when you come back, you don't have to overpay if your luggage is too heavy, or you don't have to buy another bag just to put all your stuff in. So that's it for packing. For transit. So whether you're busing, I've never bussed, I don't plan to ever bus, or train or anything like that. I prefer to either fly or drive. So if you're flying, wherever you fly into, all ahead of time, make sure that you know how you're going to get to your living location and how you're going to get back to the airport. So I usually do Uber or Lyft. That's when I will pay however much I got to pay. And just because I like to feel a little luxurious when I touch down, I like to get the, what is it? The luxury one or whatever. And honestly, it's not always that much more expensive than like a regular car. So if you want to feel a little lavish, ain't nothing wrong with it. Get you that little upgrade car and live your best life, honey. So I usually do that. I've done shuttles from the airport as well. Rock Hostel provided like a shuttle. There was a fee. And I always tip them too. Tip them because they're like carrying your luggages and doing all that. So that's nice to do. But make sure you know ahead of time how you're going to get where you're going and how much it's going to cost you. And make sure you're not running late. If you are somebody that's always late, set alarms for things. Set alarms to wake up for your flight. Set alarms to check in for your flight. If you are going to arrive early, like before check-in, call ahead of time before you even get there and make sure that they have some place for you to lie your luggage down so that you can just, this is what I do often because I love to fly into places early in the day because it gives me a whole extra day. And so, yeah. I always call ahead and say, hey, will there be somewhere for me to like hold my luggage until check-in? Or if I'm checking out later than my flight or before my flight, I always ask, is there somewhere that I can keep my luggage so that I can roam about and then come and get my stuff when I'm ready to go? Activities. So the best part about traveling is all the fun that you can have, okay? So I don't always plan ahead. I'll have some general things in my head of like what I want to do. Like maybe I want to do jet skis or I want to do a boat ride or do whatever activities you have in mind. I don't like to plan out an actual schedule and say, okay, Monday we're doing this too. Like, no, I like to generally know what I want to do and then just kind of go with the flow once I'm there. I already ahead of time like to scope out locations though, so that once I'm there, I kind of know the area, like where I need to be if I decide to do X, Y, and Z. Another thing you can do that I mentioned in my hostel video is ask concierge or the front desk what kind of activities they have to offer. If you're looking for specific things, let them know and they can usually point you in the right direction. Groupon is going to be your best friend if you're looking to do things that are usually more expensive like jet skis or etc. I did my jet skis on a Groupon and it was a lot cheaper than what they try to charge you when you do it on a beach. So don't get swindled. As a solo traveler and as a traveler in general, people love to take advantage of tourists. So that's something to always be mindful of, especially if you're like in another country, you don't necessarily speak the language. It's just something to be cognizant of. Always know that that could be a variable. And I'm not saying always because there are a lot of good people, but I have been places where I feel like they try to take advantage because I was a tourist and they knew. Always look at reviews. If you're thinking of doing some activity that is a little more expensive or is something that can potentially be dangerous, like skydiving or something like that, look at the reviews and make sure that they have good reviews because you don't want to waste your money. You don't want to risk your life unnecessarily. So, yes. And try new things. Please don't go somewhere to eat the same food you eat at home. Do the same things you did on your last trip. Always go new places with new adventures in mind. Like, it makes all the difference. I don't want to go somewhere and do the same thing twice. That's why if y'all look at my Miami vlog / hostel video, you see me doing very different things on those trips because they were for different purposes. And that's just how I like to do my thing. Meals. So I suggest if you're somebody who tends to go a little crazy with the food thing, make you a meal budget ahead of time. One thing I like to do is buy a bunch of fruit. I like to eat fruit for breakfast. So I'll just stock up on fruit when I get there or stock up on water and make sure that that's how I have my breakfast usually. If I want to go out for breakfast or brunch, then I do. But have a couple of snacks available to you in your living space so that when you get hungry, you're not just buying something crazy priced just because you're starving. Always have something with you. And I always keep a snack in here. Like I always try to keep a snack because my metabolism makes me hungry a lot. So if you're going to be there and you really want to treat yourself on like your last night or whatever, Find a nice little restaurant to go to that's a little more upscale or a little more expensive, but make sure you budget for it. So your other meals throughout the day, maybe for lunch, you eat off of like a taco truck or some kind of food truck. And then for dinner, you go somewhere nicer. Kind of budget out your meals and vary them in a way that does not eat your pockets, because eating out gets very expensive even at home. And when you're traveling, it's even worse. People they can be really great or really terrible. And depending on where you are, all types of people are everywhere, right? Stay open-minded. Never, ever judge a book by its cover. You could be meeting your best friend and they will look like somebody that you would never talk to in a million years. Like, just don't be shallow. Don't be closed-minded. Don't come to a new place just to, to be stale. Like, wherever I go, I like to bring love. I like to bring good energy. And it comes back to me. So I appreciate that. Be open-minded to new friends. If you meet some cool people, hang out with them. It doesn't mean you have to meet somebody and you have to stick with them from the beginning of your trip to the end of the trip. And let them know, like, yeah, when you want to hang out, just text me. Or if you're not comfortable giving out your actual number, use a Google Voice number. They are free if you have like a Gmail account. So that's another tip. I'm giving y'all all the tips, honey. Y'all better send this video to a friend. Especially if you know a friend who's traveling for the very first time. I think this is a really good video for them, because I wish I had something like this. And let the vibes tell you where you should and shouldn't be, who you should and shouldn't be with, because we always know. When you're buying souvenirs, negotiate. Always try to negotiate the price, especially like if you feel like it's not worth it. Don't overpay for something. There are a million different souvenir shops you can go to if they're not trying to bargain with you. But those items are usually overpriced anyway. So it doesn't hurt to be like, hey, can I give you so-and-so for it? And if they go for it, they go for it. If they don't, then they don't. But don't get took. You know what I mean? Don't just pay it because you have it, because that could be going to more food. It could be going on your next trip. It could be going to your gas or to your bills. Like, just when I travel, or when people travel in general, you feel so good that you're just like, oh, whatever, I'll pay for it. You get back home and you see your bank balance and you're going to be mad at somebody. And then that just ruins the memory of the trip. Like, just don't do it. If you are somebody and you know you have a hard time budgeting your money, especially when you're on a trip, take a hard budget and stick to it and keep track of it throughout the time that you're there, so that you don't come back home unable to take care of yourself. My biggest tip and my final tip is be open. Be open, but be safe. Always keep safety in the back of your mind. As a solo traveler, guy or girl, human trafficking is a big, big, big industry and is a big issue in this country, in other countries. People don't always look, there are lots of wolves in sheep's clothing. So don't be fooled. Don't get too comfortable. And please, for God's sakes, ladies, if you get invited to go on somebody's boat, do not go. I do not care I don't care who it is. Those people can toss you overboard, honey, and you will never be seen again. Like, just tell them, if it's somebody you want to vibe with, meet them at a public place. If you are invited to go somewhere like a mansion, like I've been invited to go to mansions, take friends with you. And if you feel the vibe is off when the person is inviting you, do not go. And if you're the type of person that's just not comfortable with it, just don't. Always take honey, you better take it with you to that mansion, because you never know, okay? We don't play. I'm adventurous, but I stay on the defense. You feel me? Those are the tips that I have. Oh, also, nope, I lied. Lint roller. Take a lint roller, because when it's time to pull out that all black club outfit and you linty, baby, you're going to be mad. You got to go to Walgreens. You done your makeup and your hair. Or fellas, you done got all fresh and you realize you linty. Take a lint roller. Other little items I take an umbrella. Put it in your luggage, even if it might not rain, because it just might. Due to the pandemic, this is something new that I do. Pack extra masks, and I usually keep at least a mask or two backup in here, especially if you're using disposable ones, because, masks get lost all the time. So take those with you. And ladies, keep your lip stuff on deck. Any refreshers that you're going to need, if you need like lady wipes or deodorant, whatever other hygiene items you need, keep it with you, okay? You can't be out here bad. You just can't. So y'all, I think that just about wraps up this video. And this is the last time you'll see, well, yeah, I won't be recording another video in this outfit. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. And I hope that y'all got a lot from this video. If you did, remember to give a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe and comment. Let me know how y'all feel about this vlog. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope that you learned at least one cool thing or one cool trick or tip to do when you're traveling. And then if you have, share it with a friend, especially if it's a friend you know is going to be traveling soon alone. Until next time, love, light, blessings, prosperity, good energy, good people, getting rid of all the things that don't serve us. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.